Welcome to a special series around the SimToolkitPro tool that we have now, and something that is a really great freeware, donationware project. It's changing so much. I call it the Zibo of flight simulation tools because you get an update every couple of hours or a couple of days, definitely. I can say every second or third time that I start this tool, there is an update coming in. It's a bit like the Zibo. So things are developing very quickly. And sometimes they change, and then I need to adapt my strategies with it. But yeah, it is a fantastic tool. I started to do a video which was kind of an extended flight planning video where I was trying to show you how I would prepare a flight with SimToolkitPro, because I'm trying to now find my procedure of how I'm going to use only SimToolkitPro. I'm trying to limit myself to SimToolkitPro as a tool for the maps, for the charts, for the flight planning, and so on and so forth. And yep, this tool can already do this. Maybe not 100% yet, but it's getting there. That it is the one-stop shop for everything that you want to do around your flight simming, your flights, your flight planning, and also while you're doing your flight, and online flying, and so on and so forth. That video was almost 2 hours before I knew it, and it was just too long, too much information. I tried to show you everything I know, and yeah, it's too long. So I decided to split this up, to concentrate on certain aspects, and try and keep these videos around these aspects as short as I can. You know me, if you know my channel and if you have seen my videos, I tend to bring a lot of information and sometimes it can be a bit too much. So I hope that with splitting it up and providing several parts with different aspects of this tool, that it will help you to actually get accustomed to it and see how actually great it is. It is a really great tool, and I'm really grateful that we have something like that. There are others out there, yes. EFAS was a payware. It's also quite good. It also covered a lot of aspects, but I never really got very warm with EFAS. There were things that it wasn't really my tool for some reason. Little Navmap is great as a map tool, but it lacks all the other aspects that I have with SimToolkitPro. So although I still use Little Navmap, SimToolkitPro is actually starting to overtake it, basically. So in this first edition, what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you everything around charts and getting the information about airports and departure procedures, arrival procedures, and those kind of things. There are payware ways of doing this, and there are freeware ways. Well, anyway, free and payware approaches to this, and I'm going to show you both. And then you, depending on what you have, you can choose to do one of those and get charts, get information, get procedures, and things like that. Okay, so let's start. SimToolkitPro has these tabs down here. And when we come to charts, this is actually the area where you would get your charts. And the first thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to call up the setup for these tabs down here. Basically, SimToolkitPro has browsers. All these tabs that you can activate or deactivate, all these tabs, I can actually make them big, easier to read, are little browsers. They're browser windows where you can load up any URL, and it would then display the URL in that tab. So you see, I've started to do a couple of things. Tried some custom ones out, for example, the lightning map, And there's the Navigraph, there's WebFMC, ChartFox, Autorouter, Windy, SkyVector. That's the one that I have activated at the moment. He actually comes with a couple of predefined ones. There's actually a new one, Aerosoft NDP. I think that could be the, is that maybe something around, is that like Navigraph? Possibly. I don't have that. I suppose you might need a subscription for that. ChartFox, Navigraph, WebFMC, Active Sky, Autorouter, SkyVector, Windy. These are all predefined ones. So the program would actually put the URL in here. But you can also use your custom URLs. So if you happen to have charts as a PDF, like you can get from some sites where you can download, like for example, the WATS in Germany, they used to have all the German airports as PDF download, and I think you can still get that. And you can also get a big PDF with all the charts in them. So what you could do is you could actually create a file URL. I have a PDF, which is Echo Delta Delta Hotel Hamburg Fuhlspittel PDF. I got that from one of these sites, downloaded it. And in order to find out what you need to enter as a URL, what you actually would do, I'm going to show you. You go and you start a browser, okay? And then you do file // oops. No, that was too early. File // // C // I think that's enough. What happens then is, here comes on a sort of a normal Explorer window, and then you go wherever you have that PDF. In my case, it's actually in my Explain folder under Resources, Plugins, AviTab, Charts, because that's where I saved it. But it can be anywhere in the file system. If you know where your PDF is, you can see it here, EDDH Hamburg Fuhlspittel. You press this, and then the browser opens the PDF for you. Now, the interesting bit for us is this here. Click this, copy it, okay? And then we go back to SimToolkitPro. And we do a custom URL. You select here. I called it charts, but you could also indicate that it is the Hamburg one. And then you paste that URL in here. Okay. So what that means is, when I press now on the EDDH tab down here, what you get is all the charts that are in this PDF. And if you're lucky, like in this case, they also put bookmarks in it. So you can actually easily, or much easier, unfortunately the bookmarks are a little bit cut because they are very long, but you can actually select the charts by by selecting them here. You can actually turn. There's the turn, because it is a browser window. So here you can see which approach procedure is that. This is the GPS FMS RNAV arrival chart for Hamburg 05. And that means if you have such PDFs, you can actually use this to open the charts, right? Now, in case you have individual PDFs, that is a possibility. There is another trick that you could do, which is very similar. And so what I do is I go up to this charts thing, but then I remove the PDF part from it. And if I now call for the... Ah, no, that doesn't work. Okay, I thought that it would show you the file system, but that's not... Okay, that works in the normal browser, but that doesn't work here. Pity, because then you could have selected a folder and then select the individual chart that you want to look at, but that unfortunately doesn't work here. Okay, was a try, but yeah, that doesn't work. So you have to provide the full URL, including the PDF. Okay. Yeah, you can download it from here, but that's no point because you have it already on the disk. And this is how you zoom in, and then you can kind of move it. So that's one possibility how to get charts and actually display it in the context of SimToolkitPro. The other approach would be it's in the AviTab chart folder. So if you're in the simulator, you could actually open AviTab and then pick this. But AviTab, yeah, it is a bit hard to read such charts, especially those big ones in AviTab, because you need to zoom in a lot and then you move around a lot. It's difficult to read charts like this in a relatively small window of AviTab. Now, what is not working here is obviously you cannot have your simulator aircraft position in here. Okay, I mean that's obviously, yeah. Good. So that's number one. Number two is the payware Navigraph. You need to have a Navigraph subscription. But if you do, look at this, you get the full capabilities of Navigraph in the context of SimTool. You don't have to change the tool. You do not have to do things several times. Yeah. So, to see charts, you go to the open chart list, and then you can click on the airport chart. And here you go, and if your simulator is running and you have your Navigraph Simlink program running, you could actually press this button. That won't work now because I don't have a simulator running, and it would actually show you where you are here on the chart. So this is a bit like moving map or moving chart, but they also have a moving map, because if you close the chart, then you have this map. There are different backgrounds for it. So this is kind of the world map. And then there's a low en route chart. There's low en route, low level sort of airways here, or the high en route charts, which is the high level, the upper level airways, and all the nav aids that are still there, and all the navigation points. And you can see how we fly here a little bit off the beaten track. So we're not using high en route airways here on this part, but we do until Lasto. Yeah. So until Lasto, we seem to be on an airway, the Yankee 102. Okay. So Navigraph is a fantastic tool, but it is not cheap. You need to pay a yearly or a monthly payment. It's about €80 a year. But you do get updates of your ARAC cycles for all the FMCs and X-Plane and so on, including also the charts, so that you can look at the charts for a year. You can do this monthly, but yeah, if you do it monthly over a year, it would actually be a bit more expensive compared to the yearly subscription. Then there's something that I discovered not too long ago, and it's called ChartFox. This is a freeware or donationware kind of service. You can donate, you don't have to, which is doing something. It looks actually similar from the layout to the Navigraph. I'm pretty sure Navigraph was kind of the idea behind to do it similarly, you know, to have kind of structure your charts according to the phase of the flight. And you can actually search for specific things such as 08, and then you would get everything that has 08 in its name or so. And then you can click on a chart and you would see it then here. This is the cut 2 and 3 ILS runway 08. If you press that plus button, it would put it up here in the dock, and that means you could actually collect pre-collect sort of charts that you want to use. So here's, for example, the parking chart, or the parking mega airport, or the taxi chart. Okay, and yeah, let's add this too. So we have the ILS, we have the taxi chart, and then we could do the SID. Let's say we go via the anchor SID. Okay, so we add this too. And that means that later on you can easily switch between those charts by just selecting them. Okay. Again, it is possible to actually download these charts because these are PDFs, and you could actually download the individual charts, put them somewhere in a folder, possibly even in the AviTab folder, and then you could also use it inside the aircraft with, for example, the likes of AviTab. All right. This dark bright mode is only for the user interface, not for the chart. The charts are always displayed like this. And they do get the charts from all kinds of sources. So these, for example, are from WATSIM Germany. I told you that they have a site where they have their charts. But if you go for something like OMDB, which is Dubai, you could actually go and get the aircraft parking. It takes a bit longer. It loads it from www.gcaa gov.ae, so directly from the Emirates, basically. And yeah, these are completely different charts. As you can see, they don't look exactly the same like the other ones. But again, yeah, what's that there? I don't know. You can close this, get a bit more space for your chart. Okay, so, and these here I think cannot be downloaded because they're not PDF. They seem to be something else. So it doesn't look like we can download those. Yeah, but still, you have charts for those airports. Now I'm not sure what coverage this tool has, but ChartFox is definitely a free source of charts. That is easily, you need to log on. I use my WATSIM credentials. I'm not sure if you can use other ones. I registered with my WATSIM credentials to get on. But this is free of cost, so you don't have to pay for that. And here you have charts when you need them. Now, this is new. I discovered it via SimToolkitPro because this was one of the predefined tabs. And the thing is, you cannot immediately use this. What you have to do is you have to register. This seems to be a real life pilot. We're talking GA kind of small aircraft flying here, not big jets and so on. This is a tool where you can create flight plans, where you can also have charts. But you have to register. It's free, at least at the moment. It seems to be free, the whole service. So no problem to just register, put your password, a password and a username in. You have to qualify. They send you email. You do not have to give a mobile number. It's not required. They want to have you put a mobile number in, but that's for some other services that they want to provide. I have not done this because I'm not interested in giving my mobile phone number to something like that. I don't need it. Yeah. So you don't have to provide your phone number, but your email address, and you will get an email. You have to kind of verify that it's you, and then you have to wait that they activate you. That can take up to a day. And for me, it took a couple of hours before I was actually let on. Once you're on this, in the briefing, you have things like this map. This is also quite nice. If you have a flight plan in the ICAO format, that's with the bracket, FPL, dash, and so on, and bracket, SimBrief will give you this format, by the way. Yeah, you can paste this in here, and it will actually... Do I have a flight plan? Let me see. I think I do. Let me quickly show you that. So here is the SimBrief. So go to the flight summary, and somewhere in the flight summary here it is. See, this is the ICAO flight plan. From bracket to bracket, you can copy it, and then we go to autorouter, flight plan. I paste it in here. I say apply. And here's the flight plan that we have created with the help of SimBrief. And it puts it here in this map. And then there are some things. For example, open flight maps are actually free, open source visual flight maps. Things that you would normally have to buy on paper in earlier times. This is like OpenStreetMap. It's a similar thing. So people are keeping up the VFR chart information and provide this free of charge. I've shown you where to get these in original, and that's actually fantastic because you can overlay this chart with this freeware VFR charts. And that's not only for Germany. These things also exist for Austria and for some other countries. Okay, and anyway, all these overlays. This is quite a fantastic little map tool. You can make it big. Okay, and there you go. I'll turn this off because this would be an IFR flight, and yeah. You can have airspaces put in, you can have airways put in, and waypoints on and off. So, but you wouldn't see them at all zoom levels. Show sits and stars. If they are defined like they are in this case, they would actually show them in a different color. So here you can see our input to November, I think it is, departure, right? And then the RAROP to something arrival for runway 23 would be depicted here. Now again, you cannot see where your aircraft is. This doesn't have a moving map functionality, but it is another source, not only for these kind of charts, but or for maps, but also if you go to AIP plates and for example you put in EDDM, right? You can actually get Munich, and you know what? I show you this version here because you can get the complete package of Munich charts from here. Downloaded is a big PDF. It's exactly that kind of PDF I just shown you with Hamburg. You can download this and then put this like I did with the Hamburg chart, and then you could in theory go and take that first approach that I shown you, change the name, and then you would have your Munich charts available. And if you don't need all the tabs here like I do, you could indeed have Hamburg and Munich, the two PDFs in a folder, and then have two tabs. One is covering the Hamburg charts, one is covering the Munich charts, something like that. Okay, so the arrival and the departure charts. It's a complete package, you get everything. I'm not sure what the coverage of this is. This is real life stuff. So this is actually for real life pilots, but they have no problem that you log on there and also use this. There's also this Grommet, and this has something to do with weather, but I haven't really gone through this in depth yet. But here's another source of charts at the moment free. It may be that over time flight planning might cost something because obviously they need to pay for running these servers, and it could be that they might ask in future, at least it was written somewhere that it could happen that they ask for some fees, but at the moment it's free, and I think it's a great site, and I discovered it via SimToolkitPro. I didn't even know it exists. So, and that basically means the four possible ways of dealing with charts and maps. So is download any kind of PDF charts, instrument charts and things like that, and then just look at them with these browsers. Use the Navigraph if you have a subscription. Use Skyfox, which is free, or get your stuff from from Autorouter. It's also free at the moment. So great ways of actually getting the kind of charts that you need to fly, especially when you fly online, because there is an expectation from online ATC that you have charts and information about the airports that you fly to. Okay, that was part 1. 25 minutes. I think that's the limit. I should try and not be more than that. But yeah, that's all I can tell you about charts and maps in SimToolkit Pro.